Hello, welcome everybody. This is Mohammed Kamal. On today's session, we'll cover the ServiceNow basics. So, welcome again to the ServiceNowStar, your go-to channel for all things related to ServiceNow. Today, I'll walk you through the basics of ServiceNow system administration. I will highlight some key concepts, best practice to get you up and running. In case this is your first time hearing about ServiceNow, ServiceNow is an incredible, powerful platform used by many organizations worldwide to manage their IT services. Not only IT services, it's also used for a bunch of other managing applications and also doing compliance stuffs and a lot of things. So here, the basic thing here in ServiceNow is help you to streamline your processes, your different operations, and also automate these manual tasks. So that way you'll have these seamless automations between your different applications. Okay, having said that, this video is specifically for system administrators. So if your role is a system administrator, it is really a pivotal. Okay, it's very important in keeping your ServiceNow system running and also smooth. So what I mean by system administrator, there are some specific tasks that are specifically completed by a system administrator, things like user management or some minor configurations on IT service, handling incident management, and much more. So we'll take a look at some of those as a best practice here as well. So as a system administrator, help you to grasp your fundamentals, essentials for effective administering the instance. Okay, you might be asked to create a user account or also manage some self-service as well. Okay, creating a reports or even a dashboard from existing. So these are some of the tasks that can be completed by a system administrator. Now, let me take you here to the instance. So as a system administrator, you might be required or you might be asked to create a user for, could be a system user or also a platform user that can be used at the instance. So an important thing here is when you create a user, so you can come to system administration here under your application navigator. Okay, under that you'll go to users and groups and you will go ahead and create a users. Now, when you create a users, there are best practice that you need to follow. But when you talk about best practice, some company or your organization might have some rules that you need to follow. How you're gonna put the user ID, okay, and first name, last name, and also the emails. You can see most of the fields are not required, but depending on your organization, you might say some of the thing is here could be the user ID must be required, or at least the email must be required. So that way, if the email is used to differentiate one user from another user, okay, user ID usually is going to be a first name dot your last name of the user, or depending on the prefix that you can use. Okay, I'll show you how you can do it for system users as well. So for example, here let's go ahead and use test.1. Now test.1 is the user ID. Now you can go ahead and add the first name right here and last name. Then definitely you will need an email, okay, an email, because that is really important. It doesn't mean that you will go ahead and save this one without populating the required field here, because depending on your organization, you might go ahead and set one of the field or two to make sure this is the user is correctly created. Perfect. Here I am creating, based on the requirement, a user account for Mohammed. Now, when I create a user account for Mohammed, what I would do is I'll put the username, user ID right here, first name dot last name, and then you got the first name here and also the last name, and email is also important. So I'll go ahead and add the email right there. And then based on that, if you require a business phone, you can go ahead and do that. Now, this user is active. Okay, active is checked by default, but make sure you go ahead and save it. And then from there, right here you have password needs reset, and also set the password. Now, the password, setting the password is very important. So once you create the user, you'll go ahead and click the set password. So this is set password will go ahead and generate the password for you, a complex password. So if I click here, generate password, you will get this long password. What I would do is I'm just gonna clip this the password, and I will go ahead and save the password first. And as I do that, you will see that, okay, let's go ahead and close that one. You'll see that right here, password needs reset. It's automatically checked. This means when this user first time try to log into the system, they need to go ahead and reset this password, their password. Okay, so that is one of the best practice you need to follow. All right, let's go ahead and save it. Now if I scroll down right here, there are related fields, related tables like roles, groups, delegate, skills, and also subscription. There are other related tables you can add to this user, but the most important one here is roles and groups. Now the best practice is when you create a user, do not add a role directly to the user. That's not a best practice. The best practice is you make sure you will have a group that you need to associate these users. So some of the group we can take a look at here out of the box. I'll go ahead and show you. Perfect. So these are the groups that are available out of the box. I'll go ahead and add, for example, analyst, okay, from the collection to the right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and save. We're at this minute that I am associating the group analyst to this user. Okay, if there are any roles and permissions that are provided to that analyst group will be shared to this user. Now as I go ahead and refresh, you'll see that this analyst group is tied, and also role wise there is pps underscore resource is automatically added. Okay, so the benefit here is when this user get retired, or okay, if you remove this user from the system, what you need to do is you don't need to go ahead and remove the roles from every user that you shared. What you need to do is just go to that group and then you can easily remove. So it helps you to manage the users and also their roles as well. Okay, this is the best practice as a system administrator you should follow, whether you are in a given company or anywhere. This is the best practice you gotta follow. Okay, creating user ID might have some thing you need to follow based on your company and making fields required and so on, but making sure adding users to the group instead of a role to the user. Okay, that's the best practice you gotta follow. So to excel as a system administrator, you should adhere to the best practice, ServiceNow best practice, such as regular system maintenance, monitoring your system performance, staying current with the latest features and also updates as well. So let me go ahead and show you, for example, how you monitor your system for any issues that might occur. Now you might be asking, how can you monitor your system as a system administrator? Okay, good question. So to answer that, there's a ServiceNow module called System Logs. System Logs gonna give you any client transactions or interactions, any client interactions. Let's say we'll take a look at this one. For example, if I open it, now you might be asking, how can I check any the health of my system, the health of the ServiceNow? Okay, before even ServiceNow tell you, you can go ahead and check because it's your instance. Okay, you got here system log within the system, within the application system log. Under that you got all warnings, errors, any script log statements, application logs, all that things modules are created here. Let's take a look at here the transaction log. So any transaction within the system happened, whether it be a REST type or even a batch, you can take a look at them. Okay, so that is an important thing as well. So you can group it by type and see, for example, there is a SOAP, that many, there's a form transactions. Then from there you'll see which one take what was the response time. Is it taking a longer time or a shorter time? There is a SQL query, so that way you can go ahead and you see who requested. Is it an application? So you can make sure your systems are running up and run. Right, and here are, for example, any logs that are created, and you can see right here level is warning. Warning is not bad, but you can also to check a look at, it's good to take a look at any warnings as well. You can group by this one, you remove this, and also you can check. But logs are really a lot in number, so make sure don't click. For example, this is just created on today, right? If you click all, it might go ahead and slow your instance unless you have any more than one instance. Okay, instance, so you make sure you're not clicking all, so you have to go ahead and target a few days and so on, or also check a look at it in out of the work time as well. Okay, as a system administrator, you might be asked to create an item, a catalog item. That's also, you need to follow the best practice when you create any catalog item. So I'll go ahead and show you that one in a minute here. To create a catalog item, you can come to the maintain item, okay, under your application right here, service catalog, all right, and then you have right there maintain item, and that's gonna bring you this here. So you will go ahead and create a new one, or also you may start it sometimes from an out of the box. For example, let's go ahead and take a look at one with say access, okay. Now I'll open that one to save time. What you need to do is you can go ahead and copy over this one. Right there you have a copy button, whether you are on the same application scope or not, you can copy it, and then from there you can make modifications. So the benefit of your copying is whatever configuration that has been made under this item, so you will get it, okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we can copy it. Now as I copy, you will see that on the application scope of incident management service operation, so this will be tied to that application as well, okay. All right, so it's the name is right there, a copy of access, so you gotta make sure you know update the names, and then it's available for service catalog and so on. So this is how you can easily create a copy of catalog item, and then from there you can maintain it, okay. So make sure you got a good name, a short description that can identify the catalog item, and also where this need to be, okay, added in the catalog, and also the categories. It's going to be a software, or you might need to create a new category as well, but usually these categories are created ahead of time, and you just need to go ahead and associate using this lookup field, okay. All right, so there are some fields that are already in read-only mode. For example, here the model, okay. As you change, okay, some of the fields right here, that might also go ahead and update. For example, the vendor, Microsoft, right? If I go ahead and change that one, some of the things will go ahead and change. Let's take a look at Accenture, right? Right here, rank tire is gonna be not available, okay? Rank tire will not gonna be available. How about Amazon? Okay, Amazon has a strategic partner and so on. So some fields are read only, but because of, you know, another field right there on the system. This is creating a catalog item or maintaining a catalog item. It's also part of the system administrator. It's a very simple one. What you need to do is you just need to go ahead and copy it, and from there, so once you create it, there is a try it out button right here, so you can go ahead and try it, okay. Another important thing is to make sure your instance is, you know, patched it with, there is any patch that has need to be done within the instance. So here I have my instance, okay. It is recently upgraded right here 3 days ago, and you can also take a look at sys.do. You can take a look at your instance, you know, when is the build, and also what version it is running, and so on. So those are important things you can check as well, okay. All right. Now, in general, as a system administrator, make sure you have to check your instance maintenance, including database backups, because these data backups is going to happen maybe every week, depending on your instance, okay? And also, you have to check sometimes the system audit that might help you prevent any data loss as well, okay? Ensuring integrity of your ServiceNow instance. I want to say thank you for watching the ServiceNowStar. Stay tuned for more tutorials and also tips and tricks that help you success in your ServiceNow system administration role. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon for notification on our latest episode. That's all for today. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.